Okay, so we have a segment that we planned called Explain That Gram.
Okay.
We take photos posted online with your account and accounts related to yours. And we just want you to, like, take a look at them and, like, tell us the story behind those photos. So the first one we have is from October 12th.
Yes. So this was in Prague. This was in Prague. So those three guys right there. Not that one. These two, and then there's a third one. I don't know where he is. Are the Above and Beyond group that is my favorite music group. So I was up on. I don't remember what the bridge is called. It's a famous bridge in Prague though, and this was the day before their festival.
So they're doing a little pre-party thing.
They were doing it on this private boat, and so I was up on the bridge, and we didn't even realize that it was happening. And then all of a sudden we hear some of their songs, and like, wait, where's that coming from? Look down, and they're just sitting there on the boat, and that was the closest that I've ever gotten to them, which was pretty cool. Wow. So yeah, because they went right under the bridge, so it was like 20 yards away, maybe.
And explain the caption.
The caption. Oh yes, so their label is called Juna Beats, and so the whole, like, them and their whole fan base is very friendly, and everyone just has such a great time, and there's no, like, at their shows there's no aggression, there's no, like, fights. It's all just, everyone's just there, and you're just having a good time. And so they all say it's a Juna family.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone is, just like you can connect with someone from a completely different country and just meet up with them at the festival, and you just get along with them right away. Wow. So, yeah.
I think that's, like, also a culture, like, just with EDM.
That's yes, great. It is. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, I've heard
that. It's not every genre of EDM, but this one specifically is trance, and so it's much more mellow, relaxing, and just happy in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you discover EDM originally?
Originally through high school a little bit. My first exposure was what were they called? Bass Hunter, I think. They have a famous song called Dota.
Dota.
Do we want to play Dota by Bass Hunter?
Should we play a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Hine is an e-board.
Wait, I know the song.
This song.
Yeah. A lot of people typically know it once it's played.
Is it bad that I don't know what to say?
I feel like I'm at, like, a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, so that group was probably the very first exposure. And then once I went off to college, it was more Tiesto, back when Tiesto was first kind of building up, and now he's this huge producer. And then it kind of just branched off from there. And then in Santa Barbara specifically, that is what you'll hear just walking through. Yeah. So Isla Vista is the little square mile of college town that's right by the campus, and so all the students live there. So you just walk through the streets, and people are playing music, and I'd say like 80% is electronic of various kinds. So you just get exposed to it just living in that area. Yeah.
Huh. Why do you think that is?
It's party music.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are there any other, like, unique aspects of that you think you've carried with you from UCSB? Like, what was your UCSB experience like culturally?
It was very different than my high school experience, 100%. I would say I'm much more social now. If you talk to anyone that knew me in high school, I was way more introverted. I owned the fact that I was the lovable nerd, very much so. I was not part of the popular crowd, but a lot of people knew me. I wouldn't say everyone knew me, but I was definitely like one of the gamer nerds. But I was also on the track team. I also did orchestra. I did not do robotics. I didn't know that it was a thing, actually. And then at Santa Barbara, it was very much more like, okay, I want to, like, go out with friends on the weekend. Let's go get dinner. Let's go to happy hour, whatever. Or, hey, there's this show that's happening in the city. Let's go up there for the weekend. Like, it's much more just social in general, I would say. So that's the biggest change. And I would also say much more just relaxed. Santa Barbara is a very laid-back town. Right. Yeah. It's amazing. So anyone who's going to Santa Barbara next year, You're gonna have a blast. It's excellent.
Also, just to clarify, when you say track, you do mean shot put and discus.
Yes, shot put
right?
discus. Yes. Yeah, throwing team
Gotcha.
on track. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so after you graduated from Santa Barbara, did you kind of just try to go straight into teaching, or did you
Yes.
got it?
Yeah, I kind of knew. When I was here, Physics Randall, he was my teacher for 2 years. And he told me by the end of my senior year, like, hey, you're kind of good at helping other students. You should think about this. So sure, why not? And then went through college, tried to help with a research project my senior year, and I just hated that.
Yeah.
Miserably hated research. And so I was also, while doing the research, I was doing some undergrad education classes and just getting some experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that I liked that. And then the teacher of those classes recommended that I apply to the grad school after that. And so I did. So I stayed there an extra year. And then I never thought that I was actually going to come back to Los Altos. And then when I happened to be looking for a job, I saw there was an opening, and it worked out. Yeah. Oh, and Mr. Carter, counseling office, my senior year was his very first year, and he told me, I only met with him once because it was just my senior year for those appointments, the senior appointment things. And so he said, well, what are you thinking about doing? And I was like, well, Mr. Randall mentioned that I should think about teaching, and I'm kind of thinking about that. And he was joking. And I said, well, you can come back and work for us. And so then when I actually got hired, I went and found him within like a month or two. I said, I don't know if you remember me. I only met with you once, but you said this, and now I'm working here. So it was cool, a little full circle.
Yeah.
Is it weird now having like equal authority to people who want?
I wouldn't necessarily say equal authority. Depends what the context is that we're working together, but calling people by their first names
Oh yeah.
was very strange at first. And
This is
now,
kind of a power trip.
yeah, and
Hello, Michael.
and now it's weird calling them by their last names, and sometimes I don't even know their last names, like the newer teachers.
Yeah.
You know their first name, and then when a student says, "Oh, well, it's Mr. This, blah blah blah," like I don't actually know who that is. I know their first names only.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been an interesting switch.
So I guess we'll move on to the next photo. We have 3.
Okay,
The next photo is this one.
that's my little boy.
Oh.
That's Dexter.
Dexter.
Yes, his name is Dexter. He's a 16-pound, mostly border terrier, I believe. I don't actually know. I got him at the Santa Clara County shelter, but I got him when he was 8 weeks old. So I always say I rescued him technically because I technically did, but not really because he was a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what his actual composition is, but I know he's all sorts of terrier. I think maybe a little dachshund or a little chihuahua because he's kind of short and long. But he's mostly terrier. And that was July 4th this past summer. And one of my friends put him in one of those bandanas and then got him to stand up on a little camping chair or something. His famous trick is, I call it pop, and he'll be sitting and then hold your hand above him. He just pops up on his back legs, and he can sit there forever.
Aww.
Yeah, he's very good at balancing.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
So our last one is this photo.
So that is in Prague again. So that was the group therapy festival.
And so are those people you met at the festival, or are those people
No.
you came with?
So the left 2 are my friends that are traveling, and they're actually back in the States now.
I'm just gonna make sure people can see it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you want to hold it up, or will you put it on the screen?
These 3 are other friends. This one was a friend from Santa Barbara. That was my old roommate. This was another friend kind of from Santa Barbara, but he actually lives in Iceland now. Oh. And then I don't know who that is. He met up with my other friends traveling, and he happened to be going to the same thing, so he met up with us. These 2 were some friends that we met actually in Belgium 2 years ago, and they happened to be going to this show too, and so we were like, hey, let's meet up. Yeah. So another great thing about just music festivals in general, you make friends and you stay friends.
Mm-hmm.